camera on the ceiling, bitch.
All right.
Is mine slow?
Oh, you crack me up.
Mine was a little low.
Is mine low? Is it low?
Hello, Dolly.
Oh, we got to fire Jerome.
Yeah, seriously.
Got to bring in a new producer on this podcast.
Someone who actually does work.
I know. All right. You all adjusted? Are we ready to record the episode?
I guess so.
Okay. Hello and welcome. I'm Jacob Bellotti, joined as always by my short-haired co-host, Larry Saperstein. Hello, how are you?
Thank you. You know, many times I get haircuts and they go unnoticed on this podcast.
So untrue.
Unnoticed. Roll the tape. Roll the tape.
There's no one there to roll the tape.
There's at least two. It's me. It'll be me. There's at least 2 times where I got a haircut and I said, yeah, thanks for noticing my haircut. And you said nothing.
All right. Well, welcome to Let's Talk About That.
All systems are a go.
Talking database activated.
Begin in 3, 2, 1.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what? Let's talk about who? Let's talk about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about that.
Girl, I cannot believe we are talking about that.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Let's talk about that.
Your look at the camera is so stupid. Why are you...
And here we go. I was holding.
You were holding. I saw.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute, actually.
Thank you.
It got me in. Well, let's talk about us.
When I was just great anecdote here. When I was first starting out as in dance class when I was 6. You're gonna love this story. I promise.
All right. I'm settling myself.
No.
I'm getting into my zone.
When I was first starting out in dance class, and I had my first ever solo. I was doing like dance competitions, and I was either 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And I would do whatever. Like I had all this choreography, and I remember the song. It was Hallelujah. You know that song, Hallelujah, Hallelujah.
Yes, I'm familiar with Hallelujah.
Maybe not everybody knows it. Okay. And I remember the dance teacher was like, you know what you are so good at? And I was like, what? And she was like, you are so good at holds. Meaning like I was good at holding in place. That's what she said was my best dance move. Standing still.
I mean, was she wrong?
Yes. No,
I have seen no evidence to the contrary.
No, there's a reason why I do mostly tap dance now.
I've seen you do other types of dance before, and I love it.
What other type of dance did you see me do?
Well, I remember your D23 performance specifically. I always think about that.
That's like, I mean, yes, that's dance, but I never like studied like when I was doing dance class, it was like ballet, jazz. Like I never really did hip hop classes. It was like ballet.
No, I
jazz,
can see why.
The abuse.
Oh my God.
The abuse on Let's Talk About That.
No abuse on this podcast. Can we talk about us?
Yeah.
All right. I have been dying to discuss this with you.
Okay.
I have been watching a stupid new show.
Okay.
And you know what? I shouldn't say it's stupid because it has some qualities of merit.
Okay.
To it. It's called Paradise. It's streaming on your sweatshirt, Disney Plus.
Okay, we have to be very careful about what we say about our parent company.
It has merit. It's a Hulu original, so it's streaming on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just before? Does Hulu still exist? Like, can you log on to the Hulu app?
I think you can. I think that
But why
will,
would you?
right?
Kind of thing.
Because it's just on Disney Plus.
When are they gonna like just say Hulu doesn't exist anymore?
Soon.
Because why would it be a Hulu original? It could just be a Disney Plus original.
I think Hulu's like a brand of Disney now.
Yeah,
It's one of
okay.
the brands.
All right.
One
of the subs.
Even though,
subsidiaries.
Hulu itself has a lot of different types of content on it.
Right,
So
right.
it's more than one brand within that brand.
Yeah.
But they're trying to make it like, how FX is like a brand of TV shows, right?
Yeah, but FX is on Hulu. FX is like under the Hulu umbrella.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like
so there's like Disney Plus. There's
Yeah.
Disney. Then there's Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Then there's Hulu.
Yeah.
And then there's FX.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Hulu has a lot of subsets.
Yeah, seriously.
That was.
But now
that was my
Hulu
point.
is its own subset.
Yes.
Crazy.
I know, the world's insane. But the show Paradise.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting concept. It's about the lead agent of the president's Secret Service detail.
Okay.
And in the first episode, at the beginning, the president gets murdered. Murdered. I know.
High
and-
stakes, high pressure,
high drama. Yes. But you find out, spoiler alert for the end of episode 1. Okay, so I'm not really spoiling that much of the show here,
Yeah.
people. Episode 1. You find out that there was a apocalyptic event and they're living in a bunker fake town that's underneath a mountain in Colorado. And that the president was killed in the bunker. So it's like it's a small pool of suspects.
But how do you not if they're living in a bunker? How do you not find that out until the end of the first
because it's
episode?
set up like a fake town. It almost looks like one of those nuke towns, like it's like it's
it looks very modern.
It looks very real, like any quaint small town. I actually, in the first shots of it when they were like on the streets and stuff, I was like, oh, it's the Warner Brothers lot.
Maybe it was the
It
Warner
probably
Brothers
was
lot.
the Warner Brothers lot, although it is Hulu, so I don't, makes more sense to be
Disney
Disney.
Ranch.
I don't know, whatever. But like I was like, oh, this looks exactly like the back lot at Warner Brothers.
Right.
But they have a fake sky. They have like these like sun lamps that are at the top,
Okay.
and then it's like a dome. It's kind of like the Simpsons movie.
Never seen it.
What?
I never saw the Simpsons movie.
You never saw the Simpsons movie?
No. That's the one with Spider Pig?
Yes.
Yeah, I never saw that one. Serious.
That was so odd. That's the one with Spider Pig? That's the thing you pulled out of the Simpsons movie?
Well, that's what everyone would sing when I was in like 5th grade or whatever.
Oh, Spider Pig?
Yeah.
Spider Pig. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in that movie.
Yeah.
They also show Bart's pee-pee. I know. Very controversial because
What?
he's a child.
Oh, as a child.
No. Like Bart. But he's...
Oh, I thought you meant like as a baby. But
No.
no.
They show his modern pee-pee.
Oh.
Very, very inappropriate.
Oh.
I know. I know.
How did they get away with that in a children's movie?
Well, it's not a children's movie
Okay.
because The Simpsons is not like a children's show.
I know, but like it's kind of like children went to see that movie.
Yeah, they did. That's true.
Huh.
That's what I have to say.
I don't
Anyway,
remember
the whole
anyone.
point-
I don't ever remember anyone up in arms about that.
Well, no, because it's it's all heteronormative, so it's fine.
Right.
If he was a gay character and we
if
saw
it
the
was
PB,
boobs, it would be a problem.
no, I think if it was a gay character, it'd be a problem.
But if it was like boobs, I think it would be a whole.
I don't
a
know.
whole thing.
I don't know.
Because then the
it's
boys
also
would be.
what's weird to me about it is that he's a child. That's what's
course.
weird to me about it.
Of course.
It's not that like any of that. Like it's an animated cartoon. You know?
Right.
So anyway, that was completely off the topic of what I was talking about. The whole thing in the Simpsons movie is that they're in a dome. They're like they're trapped in a dome.
Never knew that. So is it kind of like Like, is it project? Is like a big LED screen, almost.
Kind of, yeah. It's
Like-
like, yeah, and they can like change the weather. They can like make it cloudy or like.
Does it rain?
sunny.
Could they make it rain?
It has not rained in the
Okay.
show so far, so
Interesting.
unclear whether they can make it rain or not.
So they can make it cloudy or sunny.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the sphere in Vegas, but inverted.
Yes.
And inside.
Yes, that's almost exactly what it's like. And it's like, but it's ginormous. Like,
Right.
there's like 25,000 people in the town. There's like an
Okay.
arena, like library, all this like public
Huh.
stuff, buildings, all that.
Huh.
Like, and it's under a mountain in Colorado.
And the president lived in the town.
Right. So you come to find out that like they knew the world-ending event was coming.
Okay.
And so they had a plan to get the president and all of the billionaires and their families into
no,
this
just
bubble.
the billionaires?
Right. Except
So all the poor
except
people died.
Sterling K. Brown, the incredible Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah.
Who plays the lead character. He gets to come with his kids, and it was supposed to be his wife, but his wife missed the plane.
No.
And he's the Secret Service agent in charge of protecting the president, so he gets to go
Yeah.
as well with his kids.
What about the actress that you love?
Julianne Nicholson, bitch.
Yeah, you said she was
Mayor
in that.
Emmy winner, Mayor of
Emmy
Easttown.
winner.
Emmy
Is
Award
she a
winner.
billionaire in the show?
Yes, she plays the head billionaire, the one who built the compound.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I'm so used to seeing her play poor.
I know.
She's so good at playing like lower middle class.
Well, because she was lower middle class. She was
Right.
She was like not in anything until Mayor of Easttown.
I know, but like
And then she won an Emmy for it because
I
she
know.
was so incredible and made me cry 6 times.
she was so good at playing like working class that like I can't imagine her playing wealthy.
Yeah. She
just
plays,
is so like down to earth.
I don't know. She is fierce Tina Divalicious
In this show?
In this show.
Okay.
I will say she is fierce Tina.
All right. Is she in a lot of it?
Yeah, she's like one of the main 3 characters.
Oh,
The main 3
interesting.
characters are Sterling K. Brown, James Marsden, and Julianne Nicholson.
Okay.
James Marsden plays the president who was killed, but most of the show is told through flashbacks.
Okay. All right.
So you see him alive.
Okay.
Most
A lot.
of the time.
A lot.
Yeah. A lot.
And he was the president of the full ass United States.
Girl, he was the
But now
president.
everyone
honey.
is dead.
Right, except for the
Except
people.
25,000 people.
And no spoilers, but they
Other
come
countries.
they come to find out that the world may not be as empty as they're making it seem like.
Whoa. Do we know what the world-ending event
Funny
was?
enough, I just watched that episode last night. They have an episode called The Day,
Oh.
which is all like the whole episode. Honestly, you should watch it because it's like crazy good.
Okay.
Of the day that it happened.
Whoa.
And that was an insane episode.
That makes me scared. Like
It was scary,
So-
especially because they were saying what they were saying happened didn't seem that unfeasible to me.
like earthquakes and stuff.
No,
and
so essentially what happened? Well, kind of. So essentially what happened?
spoiler alert if you're gonna watch Paradise on Disney Plus / Hulu.
Yeah, I'm about to dish the tea of what happened. Although, quite frankly, you could know this going into it, and like.
It's not really what the show is about. Like there's more detail.
Yeah, you can know this going into it. Essentially what happens is that there's a super volcanic eruption
Okay.
in Antarctica. And it
Okay.
and how big the eruption is it melts a lot of the glaciers, which causes tons of water to surge and
so
causes
tsunamis.
a worldwide like tidal wave that's like 300 feet high. And so
but does it get all the way to like middle America?
it's everywhere. The whole world.
So basically
Up
they're
and
saying
down
that
and back
like,
over again.
they're saying that like the whole world is underwater.
Right. That's what they're kind of implying. It's weird though, because like you know, there's people that survive. And
Right.
and also like, and then as the tidal wave is happening, they predicted, and what ends up happening is that there was a whole thing that every country like would seek to protect themselves and their resources because they know that this is like a world kind of ending event.
Okay.
And so everyone starts dropping nuclear bombs. And so there's nuclear bombs and this like ginormous tidal wave like literally wiping out everywhere.
That's scary though.
I know,
I don't
it
want
was-
that to happen.
It was scary.
I don't want that to happen.
But then, you know, they get the president, you know, to the bunker and he's safe. You're safe. So that's the
Reminds me
show.
of Don't Look Up. But it's less Don't Look Up was more satirical.
Don't Look Up was very hit you over the head with its message.
Well, this seems like hit you over the head.
No,
too.
this one took like Don't Look Up took a hammer and bashed your head in.
Okay.
It's not really about class until like later on in the show. Like it's really not. It's more of an investigative like show, and then they add in that crazy layer
Because you're trying because the big thing is who murdered
kills
the president and why.
Right. And you come to like kind of figure out why, but then there's a whole other thing that happens that's very crazy.
Okay, so is the show good?
That's what I can't decide.
Okay. All right. Why?
Because admittedly, the dialogue is extremely stupid. Okay, it is extremely stupid. There are some phenomenal actors in it. Okay,
Yeah.
Julianne Nicholson,
I know when you
think is
told
one
me
of
the
the
actors.
great.
Yeah, when you told me the actors, I was like, I think this show is probably really good.
The thing is, Julianne Nicholson, James Marsden, and Sterling K. Brown are incredible actors.
Yeah.
Like wonderful in their craft and just really can make you feel things. Everybody else in the show sucks.
No,
Yeah.
really?
Everybody else in the show is terrible.
Oh.
Terrible.
Oh.
But beyond that, I think the writing's a little stupid. Even though, like, it's
The
like
world seems cool.
right? The world and the story are so interesting. But
Okay.
it's like the writing is stupid. Like it's like a great story with stupid writing. You know what I mean? But that being said, I'm thoroughly enjoying it and I am entertained. So isn't that a goal in itself?
Yeah, you're invested and you want to keep watching.
Yeah.
So that's good enough.
I'm watching it.
You know, just like me with Emily in Paris.
Okay, so that's where we have to disagree.
Because I'm invested and I want to keep watching. Actually, I'm like a season behind, but when I watch that show, I'm like, yes, Emily, you wear your ugly polka dot outfit and pretend it's cute.
I cannot watch such garbage, Larry.
I love it. Back to the paradise like kind of dystopian idea.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a little bit of this show that I watched when I was younger, probably in like late middle school, early high school. It was exclusively a web series. You might actually find this really cool. And it was kind of at that time when people were really like investing in the idea of web series because they thought that it was like before streaming. It was before streaming. So it was kind of like a precursor to like what a streaming show would become, and it was kind of like before the Netflix boom when it just became TV online.
Yeah.
It was all on YouTube, and it was a show called H+. And the idea of this
Sounds like
show,
a streaming service.
yeah, I know. But the concept of this show was it was a billionaire like tech company that I think was based in like Ireland or something like that. And they were
False,
providing...
no billionaire tech company
I know,
would be based in
I know.
Ireland.
And they were maybe I get that detail wrong, but they were basically giving people implants, and then when they got these implants, they could see like a computer, almost like, you know, Apple glasses or Google glasses, but like in their brain without like any kind of glasses. Like you could see it like with your eyes and like, you know, swipe on things and tap on things like all in your eyes.
Girl, who would want that?
Well, so that's the point of the show is like the rich people want it, the poor people don't, right?
Doesn't that get exhausting though? Like I don't need to see that all the time. Like I would get
Right.
frustrated and want to turn it off, but if it's in you,
Yeah, I mean, I think you can like turn it off, but like, so then what happens is, the story is told through vignettes. So all of the episodes were like 10 minutes long, right? Or something like that. And there's a big event that happens essentially where all of the kind of like the Kingsmen, all of the like
Things explode.
all of the like all of the chips malfunction basically, and all of those people die. And so there's before the event and then there's after the event, and you're watching both things happen simultaneously and stories unfold in the aftermath of the event and leading up to the event, and then the final episode is
the event.
So you're watching, and I think they literally, if I remember correctly, they literally call it like in every episode, it'll say the episode title and it'll say
like 6
months
days
before the event, or like 6 months after the event.
Netflix did a show like that recently where it was with Giancarlo Esposito, but you could watch it in any order and it would still make sense.
Oh, that's cool.
And each one was like 10 years before or 6 months after or 3 months before.
So the cool thing about this show, this H Plus show, is it was all interactive. I remember. And so they actually did that. Because it was on YouTube, they created different playlists. So you could watch it in release order, or you could watch it in chronological order after it all came out. So you could watch it where it's like the things, then the event, and then everything after the event. So it was kind of like that. And what I remember is you were kind of trying to uncover this mystery of like what the event was and who caused it and how it happened. And there was a website associated with the show.
This is so in depth.
I know. And every episode they will have this map of the world, and that was the other thing. All of the episodes happened in like different areas of the world because it was like a global thing and a global event. So you would be following
Who made
someone.
this?
I don't remember. We should look it up though.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's still up on YouTube or anything. And I don't even remember like how good it was overall, but I just remember it because I thought it was cool. And every week when they released a new episode, or whenever they released a new episode, there would be a clue that got released online on this like interactive map that corresponded to the episode, and you could like look at the clues as well and slowly start to figure out like the mystery of what happened.
Bitch, that is a lot.
I know, but it was cool. And I think there was like this era of like interactive like TV that didn't really catch on.
Yeah.
But the reason it reminded me, it was like in that kind of post-apocalyptic thing where it's like some world-ending event and everyone who's affected by it, and the before and the after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has those elements.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Great.
I just thought that was cool. You don't think that's cool?
No, that is very cool. But this show is not interactive.
No, it's not.
And I think it's much more professionally produced with a giant budget. And it got renewed for season 2. How about that? Paradise coming back.
So how many episodes are in season 1?
8.
And how many episodes have you watched?
7.
Oh, you're there.
Yeah. The last episode hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
As of filming this. It might be out by the time this airs.
Okay. But you're there.
I'm there.
You're done, basically, with the season.
I did it. I basically watched it all day yesterday. So
okay.
That got me there.
I mean, it was good enough for you to watch it all day.
Yes, it was enough to keep me occupied throughout an entire day.
Yeah.
How about that?
I love that.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, I have started writing a new book.
Oh my gosh. We're in a moment of world building.
We really are.
World building conversations are part of our moment right now.
Yeah, I've started a voyage that will probably take me years.
That is fierce, Tina. You are getting all up into that world, up into a fantasy world.
Yes,
And you are exploring the phantasma.
Phantasma as seen in this season of Subway Surfers.
Wait, what?
Phantasma. That's
The character on Subway Surfers. I haven't unlocked Phantasma yet because I'm not as good of a player as you.
I got Phantasma, honey.
I can't. I'm trying to get Gabrielle.
Yes, Gabrielle. Of course. Anyway, what was I saying about the book? Oh, yes, I'm writing a book. I've started a fantasy saga. So this is the first time I've ever written a fantasy
Fierce
thing.
Tina.
It's the first time
Jacob,
I've
you're
ever...
gonna have like a fandom.
I mean,
You're gonna be curating a fandom.
if it's good, like if it's,
I mean, what are the chances of it not being good? Come on.
I don't know. I don't like to toot my own horn in that way, but
I'll toot your horn.
okay, go ahead.
I think you have a cool idea. And I think that like you're starting to put the work into it and see what happens.
Oh, I thought this was going to be the part where you say what a great writer I am.
Well, you are a great writer, but I'm excited that you're starting to get invested in a new story.
Yes, I have.
That's what excites me.
I have a new story that's going to span multiple books, be a chronicle.
Well, how much do you want to say about it?
That's about it.
You don't want to say what the world is or anything like that.
No, because people, they just they steal everything in this town.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I know about Hollywood is stolen ideas are used very often.
Can I say last week we had Jason Dolly on the podcast.
Yes.
Love him. And he was a great guest. How awesome was Jason Dolly?
Amazing.
And we talked about the Disney Channel games show idea.
Yes, I was thinking about the same thing I think you're about to say.
And my mom texted me and she was like, why would you give that idea away? That is a brilliant idea. And
because I think Jason Earls had the same idea. I think he was
Jason Earls had the same I think we've all had the same idea.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't think it was giving the idea away, talking about it on the podcast. I just hope someone doesn't steal it.
I mean, it's inevitable, honey. Like, of course they're going to make that at some point.
Yeah, but we want them to make that with us.
Well, I know, but, you can't be precious about things in this industry.
I know. You never know.
It sucks because, I here's a fun story for the pod.
Okay.
I actually pitched the concept of the traders, the exact concept.
Wow.
Like over a year before the traders came out.
Yeah, and you pitched it to a different network, different production company, like totally different people.
Yeah, I pitched it to a production company. And I was told it was laughably stupid. And then come a year later and the traders is snatching Emmys.
Yeah. Well, it just goes to show you, like, I think it happens. I don't think it just happens in the entertainment industry. I think it happens in human nature and like in the world. Like, people come up with similar ideas at similar times. I mean, like, throughout history, you can look at like, why did it's like the same. Why did the Mayans and the Egyptians build pyramids? It's like the same idea of like people come up with similar ideas based on like what's happening in the world in separate situations. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's interesting. In our industry, it's a little different than that.
Yeah.
It's somebody has an idea. And then they pitch it somewhere, and that place says no. And then that place goes and finds someone else to do it for cheaper.
Which can happen.
No, it happens all the time.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the only thing.
No, and
happens.
that's why you get movies in the same year that seem like they're the same thing a lot of the time.
Yes. There's, oh my gosh. Should we take a break and then go into our next topic? Because actually this is a great segue into the next thing that we want to talk about.
All right, let's talk about that right after this.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Okay, so on this topic of movies coming out in the same kind of like the same movie coming out in the same year, right? There is like a study with animated movies, how like, you know, Ratatouille, and I think there was a movie called Flushed Away with like a rat that gets like flushed down the toilet or something like that.
Goodness.
Maybe I'm confusing it, but like there was a rat themed Disney movie and a rat themed DreamWorks movie that came out the same year.
Yeah.
Or a fish movie that comes out for like Finding Nemo and Shark Tale or whatever.
Right.
Come out the same year.
Right. That happens a lot in this industry.
Yeah, and it happens a lot in with competing studios and like in animation, especially because there's not
you get
as
wind
many
of an idea
animation
that someone's
studios.
doing, and then you want to do it, and that's why we get that.
Right.
You know, like that's what happens like all the time. There's always cycles of things. That's why like there have been different, like when Transformers were big, there was like car movies going on at the same time,
interesting.
and then like, you know, like a bunch of superhero movies coming out the same year. You know, like it all.
What moment are we in right now? Robot movies?
I don't know, because there really haven't been that many good ones. Honestly, Wicked might spark like a musical moment. There might be
I'm here for it.
Some musical movies.
It's interesting because
It sucks that they've already done the best one.
Wicked.
Yeah, Wicked's like by far obviously the best one.
They've also done many movie musicals. Like all of the classic movies, all of the classic musicals have already been made into movies.
Right. But
And they're not going to remake South Pacific like as a movie. Although who knows? Who the hell knows? They might.
They might.
They honestly might. South Pacific is a hard one though because it's very racist. But it's about racism.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I don't know. And then like I was even thinking about the stupid ass fucking the horror movies that are about like popular characters. You know, they made a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. Now there's a Mickey Mouse horror movie. There's gonna be like a Piglet horror movie from Winnie the Pooh.
Huh. Did those come out yet?
I don't think the Mickey one is out yet, but the Winnie the Pooh one came out. Yes. I think they made a second one of the Winnie the Pooh one.
Okay. Okay.
But that's like a trend now.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say robots, but like I also feel like we've had a lot of like robot movies in the past, like because I was thinking of The Wild Robot, right? Being like
I am a wild robot.
being such a big DreamWorks hit, I think.
I love it.
I love that movie. I think we've already talked about that on the podcast, but
I don't even think we did.
we didn't.
I don't
well,
think
we
we
love
talked
The
about
Wild Robot. Such a good
Cried
movie.
8 times, and then we watched it a second time, and I cried again.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really cry the second time, but I was like, wow, this is where I cried the first time, you know?
Yeah.
But like, then, have you ever seen Big Hero 6?
No.
That is a Disney movie about a robot. That one also is a tearjerker.
Wild robot?
No, it's called Big Hero 6.
No, is it a wild robot?
No,
in Big
no,
Hero
no.
6?
Different concept entirely. Basically, in Big Hero 6, he is a medical robot. Like he can like heal people. And it's like in the future in like a city called San Francisco, which is like San Francisco and Tokyo merged into like one futuristic city.
Whoa.
And you're following like this kid who's an inventor, and his older brother is also, I think, like an inventor, and creates this robot that they called Baymax, and and I don't want to spoil too much, but basically there's like
When did this movie come out, girl?
like 10 years ago,
You can spoil it.
but maybe you're gonna want to watch it. But basically there's a death, and then the younger brother and the robot try to figure out like I don't remember all the plot points.
People
but
are always dying in all these kid movies. Have
Yeah, I
you noticed
know.
that?
Lots
There's
of
so
death.
many deaths.
Lots of death in
Even
the
in
kids.
Inside Out, girl, the imaginary best
Bing
friend
Bong.
dies.
Well, in a Pixar movie, someone always dies in Pixar movies. There's
yeah, it's
so much
crazy.
death in Pixar movies.
It's crazy.
So much death in Pixar movies.
But I just wanted to talk about the trends a little bit there.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I meant by it. And you never know because the Academy decided the best picture in 2018 was about someone who fucks a fish. So you never know. You never know what a trend could be.
But that wasn't the animated picture. That was just the actual.
No, that was
picture.
best picture.
Well, so what are your? I mean, look, with the Oscars are literally this weekend.
Yes, and they will have happened.
Right. So we're
when
recording
is
this
out.
before the Oscars, but I'm like super rooting for The Wild Robot. I haven't seen the other like top contender. I think it's called like Flow or something like that.
Yeah, I think
About a
that's the one
cat.
that's going to win. But
All right. I mean, I haven't seen that one, so I can't like super root for it. But I feel like we're in a conversation about animation. Like the
girl,
big news is the Shrek thing.
my God, that tore me apart. I saw the Shrek 5 teaser and
Okay.
it just was everything it should not be.
So let me ask you a question. I've only seen Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. I've never seen Shrek 3 and I've never seen Shrek 4. And I have also seen Shrek the musical. So I'm a Shrek spurt.
Okay.
Are they using that term?
No.
Shrek spurt?
No.
They should.
Patented right
Shrek
here.
spurt.
Trademarked.
Shrek. We love you. So
Donkey.
anyway,
About to do something
Yeah.
very racist on
nope,
the
we're
podcast.
not gonna do that. So what was the big uproar?
Girl, okay, well, there's a few things.
Yeah.
The first and most obvious thing is that they changed the fucking animation style.
But like, how much did they actually change it? It basically they just kind of changed what the characters look like a little
no,
bit.
they changed what the characters look like a little bit, and that is a huge no-no and huge rule.
They
in
gave
animation.
Shrek like a different nose.
Do you remember Sonic? Do
Yeah.
you remember Sonic
but
when
they fixed it.
Exactly. When they released that original way that Sonic was supposed to look, girl,
Well,
it caused the biggest uproar. It's so much that they delayed the movie and reanimated the character to make people like it. And now that they made it the way that it was supposed to be,
People
they
love
have
it.
3 hit movies.
well,
With Shrek, there is a beloved animation style that
they
is
didn't
signature.
change the animation style.
They changed it.
They just changed what the characters look like.
Exactly. That is a huge no. You don't
But
do
they didn't
that.
change the animation style.
And you know why they probably did it? Because it was probably cheaper and they were able to generate it somehow so that it could do it on its own and it
No,
costs less money.
It was probably because they thought they probably were getting pressure from executives to quote modernize it.
Which is
Because it's a 20-year-old franchise
which
or,
is
or more.
exactly the opposite of what anyone wants. Okay,
Right.
we want to see original Shrek animation. We do not want the characters
But
to look
here-
different.
Here's the thing. That movie has said it was coming out in 2026.
I think
So they
I
have
think
a
they're going to
full
delay
year.
it. I think they're going to delay it.
I mean, they're probably like only slightly far along with the editing, with the animation process. They probably can very easily change the models back.
They better, because that is a travesty. What I was looking at was an absolute travesty.
They only really changed Shrek and Fiona. I didn't see,
Donkey was different too.
I didn't notice that.
Donkey was different, and it
and
really
the
was
mirror
just,
looked the same.
It really was just disgusting to see. You don't change.
I have to watch it again.
You don't cartoonize. Cartoonize. You don't cartoonize like beloved characters like that.
Caricaturize.
Sure.
Or
something. You don't.
They made them a little bit more like I just feel
They
like
made them more cartoony.
they gave Shrek like a bigger nose.
Right, but
and,
nobody
like,
wants that.
Yeah.
Nobody. Not a single person wants that.
Could you-
Okay, here's
could-
the second problem. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm asking, could there be an argument made that there's something that it reflects something in this story only because the kids, like right in like Shrek 3 or whatever, he and Fiona have kids, right? And the kids looked older. So could there be a thing where they were trying to make Shrek and Fiona look older?
No, because they look younger, and you've now brought me to problem 2.
Okay.
Problem 2 is that we all know they had like 18 fucking babies. Why are we bringing in Zendaya
To play
of
one of
all
the kids.
people to play their daughter and like the rest of them are completely obsolete? Like,
Well, maybe
what
there's-
does that mean?
I mean, we have to. Well, who knows what they're doing with the story? Maybe the eldest daughter is the main. There's a main plot point with the eldest daughter.
I just think it's ridiculous.
And just because they announced Zendaya doesn't mean they're not going to get other interesting people for other characters. You don't think they're going to get Joe Locke up in there
they
doing
might.
an ogre?
They might.
Come on.
No, his voice is too timid for that. They might get Kit Connor.
A timid ogre?
Kit Connor is known as a prominent voice actor now
Yeah, I know.
because of the Wild Robot. But they might get Kit Connor. Who knows? But here's a fun fact: in college, one of my assignments was writing an opening script to Shrek 5. Do you want to
What
hear
was
what
your
my
concept?
Shrek 5 concept was?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it opens on the end of Shrek 1. It opens on. Do you remember the dragon eats Farquaad?
Yes.
So it opens and it's like right after the dragon eats him, and then like the dragon sneezes and he goes flying up into the air, and then they all leave the church, and then Farquaad falls back in.
So Farquaad never died.
He never died, and he's weak, and he's in the church, like where the wedding was happening at the end of Shrek 1. And then his Polonius is there helping him, and he essentially is like through the rest of the Shrek movies has been taking his time building it up, and then Shrek 5 opens and he's back.
So you've written book 5 of Harry Potter.
What do you mean?
Well, Voldemort goes away
Don't say his name.
before the first book, and it takes him 4 books to get his strength back, and then in the 5th one he's back.
Well, I wasn't thinking of that, but like I guess it's kind of
No,
similar.
I'm just kidding.
I
but
don't know.
I'm just
I
teasing
thought
you.
it was fun to bring back like
Yeah.
Lord Farquaad
because he's not in any of the other ones.
This, I mean, I know that they're not going to do this, but this should be like the final chapter of Shrek. Like bringing it back all these years later. I think this should be the end of it, but. They're not going to do that because it's going to make $8 billion at the box office.
Yeah, they're going to make like 14
and there's
more
going to be
movies.
18 more Shreks.
I don't care. I like Shrek.
Yeah,
Make
I
as
do
many
too.
as you want. Make as many as you want.
Okay, well, I was thinking it would be fun to bring back Lord Farquaad.
They've made
That was my idea.
14,000 Despicable Me movies and
I haven't
20
seen a single one.
and 20 million Minions movies.
I have not seen a single one.
And Shrek is a much better, more fun character.
I'll have to take your word
than
for it.
Despicable Me.
Okay.
Those fucking Minions, I cannot. I do not want to see another Minion. I know people like the Minions, but the Minions to me are so hardcore millennial core that I just can't.
What does that mean? Because they were after my millennial
I just feel like
timeline.
millennials love the Minions.
But
Millennials will go as a Minion for Halloween if it is the last thing they do.
The first one of those movies came out after we were grown up.
Yeah, but I think it's like it's a Disney adult type thing.
Oh.
Even though they're not Disney, even if it's not Disney. Look, maybe I'm totally wrong. I could be totally wrong. I just feel, to me, it screams like millennial core. Like, I don't think the Minions are funny at all.
I don't either.
But I think millennials think the Minions are funny.
Oh, it's like Only Murders in the Building.
Maybe.
Only Murders in the Building.
Although with Only Murders in the Building, it's Gen X that thinks it's funny. I don't know if millennials think that one's even another generation.
Another one up.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I actually think that Gen Z finds Shrek very funny.
I found Shrek funny.
Yeah, I think that Shrek really resonates
Am I Gen
with.
Z now?
I mean, we're both of us were like on the Gen Z cusp.
Yeah, but
We're like-
I was in the millennial designation.
No, I think it's 1996 and after.
It was the end of 97.
So I'm firmly Gen Z, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm 98.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Maybe you're right. I thought it was 96, but anyway, Minions. I think that
Generation.
Shrek is much a more fun like franchise to play on.
I love Shrek. I've always loved Shrek.
Now, I guess they did Puss in Boots.
yes.
So that was
oh my
that's
God. Did you
basically
see?
the spin-off.
Did you see the one they made?
The one that like won the Oscar.
It was
No.
so good.
Did it win the Oscar or was it just nominated?
I can't remember, but I remember it.
I
being
heard that it was an amazing movie.
something Wish maybe. I can't remember. It was
it was like Puss in Boots and his final something or
yeah.
it was like the Puss in Boots movie from like
Yes.
2 years ago. I
Yes.
know what you're talking
I
about.
loved it. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Oh, you should have seen it. That was a great one.
DreamWorks really has it down and does not get the credit.
They
Kung
don't
Fu-
mess around,
Kung Fu Panda?
bitch.
Like
The Wuxi finger hold. it still has a finger hold on my life, honey.
Yes. Like DreamWorks really does not get credit for all the awesome movies they've made.
They have made so
I haven't
many
seen the
good
Trolls
movies.
though.
Well, I don't.
But they've made like 14,000 of those.
That can be swept under the rug for me.
I'm really hoping that they do a Zelda.
Oh,
Although I guess is Illumination is not DreamWorks, huh?
no, different.
But they're both owned by Universal.
I can't be the one to answer that
Because
question for you.
Illumination made the Mario movie.
See, I didn't see the Mario movie.
That one is actually good.
Is it heteronormative? Is Chris Pratt in it?
Yes.
Then I won't be watching.
Yes, but I don't think that I don't remember. I mean, it's Bowser is like trying to like marry Peach, but that's what he does in all of the movies or all of the video games rather.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember if Mario has a thing with Peach actually, or if he's just trying to help.
I don't know. Well, the fact that Chris Pratt is in it can't be anything but homophobic.
I think it's Anya Taylor-Joy that plays Peach.
Oh. How is she playing Princess Peach without cheekbones?
Yeah.
Oh!
Wait, and then who plays Luigi in that movie?
I don't know. I didn't see it. You're the one who saw it.
I saw it on a plane.
Oh.
I don't
okay.
fully remember, but I remember it being fun. It's really short. It's like an hour and 4 minutes.
So it's
like,
just an episode of television.
kind of. It's pretty short, but it was fun, and I really want them to do a Zelda movie.
I want there to be a live action Zelda movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
The thing
here
about
for.
Zelda is it's a lot darker than Mario. Like
A
in
little.
terms of theme.
A little.
For children, I think it's a lot darker. Like
Well,
I think
it's not for children. It's for Zelda fans.
right. But Zelda has a big, it's Nintendo still, so it's big
Yeah.
kids fan base.
Yeah, it's a big adult fan
But
base. For
oh my
Zelda.
gosh, if they could do, here's the things I want, and like my life will be so happy.
Yeah.
Zelda movie, Zelda themed land in a theme park, Zelda ride,
Yeah.
maybe even multiple Zelda rides. Zelda roller coaster would be the fiercest of them all, but we take what we can get. And then also
The loops of Link.
but think about like a type of like roller coaster where you're like riding on a dragon or something like you do it-
Ganondorf's Fury.
Yeah, or like I don't know. There's so many things they could do, or like an awesome like boat ride, or a ride where you're like doing like hang gliding because you use the paraglider so much. Like,
Yeah.
if it's set up like a paraglider and you're like paragliding over Hyrule, like there's so many cool things that could be done.
Yeah.
So those two things, and
And when
then
you say Zelda movie, can you clarify animated or live action?
I don't know. I think I would prefer animated because then you can just have the characters look like the characters. Because Link and Zelda and Ganondorf are so iconic, and I know that they have different looks throughout the games, but like I'd rather see that than like Tom Holland playing Link.
Okay, well, Tom Holland would not play Link.
I know that was like the speculation a few years ago.
Oh, well, that wouldn't happen. I would want to see a live action Breath of the Wild. I think
like
that would be
the
dope.
story of Breath of the Wild.
The Breath of the Wild story.
I think they would probably do a new story if they were going to make a live action movie or a movie in general, just like they did with Mario. They made a new story.
But they could literally make the franchise. They could do Ocarina of Time. They could do Tears of the Kingdom. They could do like all the different Zelda stories, like as different movies.
Maybe. I don't know if the story of Breath of the Wild is strong enough to make a movie. Same thing. I actually think the story of Tears of the Kingdom is stronger for a movie, like the idea of like the going back in time and whatever. But the problem is Link is like not featured in that movie, and there's a lot of in that
Breath
story.
of the Wild is so expansive enough to be a story that it is a strong enough story.
Everyone always says like the story is not the part of Breath of the Wild that shines. It's the gameplay, it's the poetry of it, it's the world that you like live in.
But it is an epic tale.
Yeah,
it's an epic tale.
But they're all epic tales in the Zelda world, kind of.
Maybe, I don't know.
You know, but I just
okay. So
honestly,
after the themed land.
Okay, so the other thing I want, and this is not related to Zelda, and this might happen, is a Wicked land.
Oh, it's 100% going to happen. They took out a patent on the Emerald City.
A Wicked
for
land
Epic Universe 2026.
Oh my God.
It's happening.
A Wicked ride?
Yeah.
What would you want for a Wicked ride?
I want to Defying Gravity. That should be the ride.
Yeah, like riding on a broomstick.
The ride is Defying Gravity.
You know what's crazy is there's like two different like worlds now in like Epic Universe that are going to be about like witches and wizards, but they're different, and there's riding on broomsticks in both of them, but they're different.
Maybe it's because real witches ride on broomsticks.
I guess so. It's taken from
they
the
addressed
real
this in
world.
Agatha all along. I mean, Alphaba was based on Agatha.
It's all based on Agatha.
It's all
really,
based on Agatha.
It's all based on Agatha. I mean, just like an Emerald City world would be so cool and to walk. But I'd want to see Shiz too. They'd probably do an Emerald City with a Shiz offshoot.
If they were going to do a Shiz offshoot, I just wish they designed it better in the movie.
I liked it in the movie. I think it could be more colorful, but you know, other than that, I mean, and they could do that in the parks. But I just, what would I'm really wondering, like, what would the ride be? I think there
It has to be Defying Gravity.
I think there could be a gentler ride, like a kid's ride,
that's like Glinda's
the bubble,
teacups.
it
Yeah,
feels like flying in the bubble.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like
Love.
where you kind of like sit in a thing and it closes in on you or something, and then you like go on a slow kind of track ride, like flying
like a Cars
flying over
ride.
Oz in the bubble.
Yeah.
But I wonder, I wonder how they would do a Defying Gravity type ride.
I mean, I think you'd have to like soar into the air.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can't find me.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
Or it's a ride where like you're flying with the flying monkeys like throughout Oz or something. Yeah. But then it's becoming Wizard of Oz. So like where's the line? You know what I mean? Like is it Wizard of Oz or is
it's
it
all
Wicked?
the same characters. They're all in it.
It's all the same world, I guess. You could have Dorothy in a Wicked. If they just make it the Emerald City, then you have all those characters.
Yeah.
You can have
I
all
want
of them.
Cynthia Erivo walking around every single day in
Well, they'll
full
have Elphaba.
Elphaba makeup.
They would have Elphaba.
No, I want Cynthia Erivo walking around just belting at random
it would
times.
be fierce if they did this. So you know how like a lot of the theme parks have shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would be cool is if they had a theater in that land and they
did
were
Wicked.
doing a condensed version of Wicked the musical, or just the full 2 hours.
No, you could just condense it to be the songs.
I guess, or just a faster faster version or something like that.
That would be
cool.
fun.
Would be cool, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And they could add even more fun, like, special effects because it's like a theme park show, you know? Like, there could be a lot more flying. She
Yeah.
could fly more.
fly over the audience and
Yeah,
stuff.
and do all that stuff.
We were supposed to be talking about animation.
Oh. Were we? I don't even remember at this point.
We got sidetracked.
Oh
by
my God, I was
always
so
do.
mad about Shrek 5.
Well, I was gonna ask you, like, what are your favorite animated movies of all time?
Monsters, Inc.
Good choice.
A Strange World.
Never saw that one, but I know you talking about. I remember you talking about it. Yes.
And Luca.
Luca.
Those are my favorites.
Okay. Wow. I love that.
Because I love gay stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Mike
Yeah.
Wazowski and Sully, gay.
Yeah. I guess
Luca
so. They like live
and
together, don't they?
and what's his name? Luca and
Alberto.
Alberto, gay couple.
Yeah.
And
Strange World, there's a gay character.
Gay character.
Interesting. I love that.
What are your favorites?
I do love Monsters Inc. I was
Yeah.
a real Pixar head for
Girly.
a while. Yeah, real Pixar girly. But Monsters Inc. was always my favorite of the Pixars.
Mm-hmm.
I really
Snow cone? You want a snow cone? Remember that?
Yeah.
What was that fake laugh?
No, I remember it.
Oh.
The Yeti.
Yeah, but you just did a big fake laugh at me.
No, I wasn't. I was laughing, but I was also thinking about what was my other movies. I know you don't love this one, but I love Wall-E.
Oh,
I always liked Wall-E.
nothing happens in Wall-E,
Not
girl.
true. Not true. They saved the world.
Literally
They
nothing
literally
happens.
saved the Earth.
Literally not a single thing
They
happens in that movie.
literally save planet
It is the
Earth.
slowest moving, most boring Pixar movie that was ever made.
I don't know if I agree with that. But and then let's see. I mean, I do love Shrek. I really do.
Love.
And honestly, The Wild Robot is really up there for me. I freaking love that movie. And then
Interesting.
watching it again, I was like, I love that movie.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think of like, do you remember? Oh my gosh, do you know what I was obsessed with for a little while when I was younger? Do you remember there was a movie called Meet the Robinsons?
Yes.
Do you remember that movie? Or
Yeah.
Meet the
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's about the family in the future. He time travels. He's like an orphan.
Yeah, it's
and
like the
he time-
Jetsons. It's like the Jetsons.
Yeah, kind of, and he time travels into the future, and he has his family, and he gets like adopted into the family, and then learns later on that he is actually like at the end of the movie, the big twist is that he's actually like the dad of the family, and the villain was actually his like brother in the orphanage, and
Yeah.
I loved that movie.
You like the sci-fi futuristic?
I do. I also remember I had do you remember the movie Robots?
I do. I sure do. I would collect the things from the cereal boxes when that movie was out. They had like the toys of them in the cereal boxes, and I had like all of them.
Okay, so I had two things. I had a Robots GameCube video game.
I had it.
Robots GameCube video game. And then also there was a play set that was robots. So do you remember in the movie there's like
There's tracks. And
there's
stuff.
tracks, and they turn themselves into balls or whatever,
Yeah.
and they get like flung around the different
Yeah.
things like a roller coaster.
Yes.
I had a play set that was like that, and it was like a thing where the robots were like they were like little plastic balls that looked like the robots, and you would put them in the tracks, and it would like shoot the balls like around a course.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That sounds very sophisticated.
Yeah, it was cool. They don't do integrations like that anymore.
Well, they do. I mean, there's the Lego Wicked set. There's the Wicked dolls.
Yeah, but I want a play set, honey. Like, where's the like
Descendants 5.
Descendants
Hello.
5.
I
Like-
want my red play set. Red's
like
castle.
they have like dolls still. They're still doing dolls. They're still doing Barbie, and
Yeah.
there's obviously still doing Lego and stuff. But like, where's the involved toys? Like, where's the like crazy? Like, I had a thing that was a marble roller coaster, and it was like you had the marbles would go around the tracks. Like, where's that? What's happening with that these
I don't
days?
know. I don't know.
Are people not doing that because they can play
Maybe
Roblox?
they are, but we don't watch kids channels where they advertise those things, and we also don't walk down the kids toys aisle anymore.
Yeah, but also like so many of the kids' stores have closed. We walked through
That's
FAO
true.
Schwartz, and they had
Paddington in Peru.
I mean, they had they had lovely kids' toys, but they weren't like involved
Play
like,
sets.
crazy
Play
play
sets.
sets where you
Yeah.
could get lost in them. Like
I remember I had like a
Connects.
jungle one. I had like a jungle like full play set with like all these different jungle animals, and like
Wow.
it was like so fun.
Like, and was it big?
Yeah, it was big.
Like, where is that? And I just remember Connects. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
I would build these roller coasters, and literally the one that I had, the roller coaster was as tall as me as a kid. It was 4 feet tall or
Yeah.
something like that, and it would go literally like had this like, what's the word like launcher thing. And like jet thing, and the coaster would go through it, and it would go like boom up the 4 feet hill, and like where are those things these days?
I don't know.
You know?
we might have to make appeals to
To
toy
Mattel.
companies here. Mattel, please come back.
Mattel, we love you.
And I do know some people at Mattel, honey.
Yes. All right. Well, we kind of got off track, but we did talk about animation.
We did. We'll have to do a different animation episode at a different point.
Yes.
But I thought this was kind of a fun little cozy episode we did.
Yeah, and it was, it reminded me of many wonderful moments in my childhood, which I needed today.
I'm so glad to be able to provide you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, you can find us on social media at Let's Talk About That Pod on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube.
Yes. And, if you have a question for us, send us an email at let's talk about that pod at gmail.com.
Send it,
And take a moment today to think about your favorite moments from your childhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What were your favorite animated movies in your childhood? What was your favorite playset? We want to know.
We want to know. Let us know in our comments section. So next week we have a great guest for you. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
And anything else? Any final thoughts?
Watch the Oscars, I guess.
Well, they already happened.
yeah, you've already watched the Oscars, so no.
We'll be talking about them on next week's episode.
Yes.
So we'll see you next week on
Let's talk about that. Bye.
Bye.